From old portal designs you've never seen, to a way to literally clip through slopes, here are 119 Geometry Dash facts you didn't know about. Did you know that before the game's release, Geometry Dash was going to be called something entirely different? In the process of naming the game, Robtop said that he named it just Geometry because it was built up of simple geometry shapes. However, Robtop later planned on calling it Geometry Jump, but for some reason, Apple told him he couldn't name it that, so he called it Geometry Dash instead. In my opinion, Dash sounds way better than Jump, and Robtop himself agreed. We all know Robtop loves to edge us with content when it comes to previews, and this feature is no different. In the preview of version 2.0, players were presented with a new monster that was supposed to be added called the Witch Monster, but it didn't get much screen time, only showing up in one teaser screenshot. So we don't know exactly how they would have acted, but what I can say is that they look really goofy. It would have been better if Robtop just added a cookie monster. Everyone hates bush spikes. I mean, you don't even die if you hit their top half. But did you know that each version of these spikes has a different hitbox? And to make things worse, their hitbox doesn't even correlate to their actual height or size, with the second shortest one having the tallest hitbox. No wonder I always die to these. You've probably looked at the difficulty faces a billion times, but what you probably didn't notice is that on the insane face, the left eyebrow is a bit larger than the right one. However, this may not actually be a mistake since it kind of resembles Dwayne Johnson. But I bet you never noticed that the map packs icon actually has the wrong difficulty color, because if you look closely, you'll see that the pink folder has the easy face, blue has the hard face, and yellow is the insane face. This would literally be such an easy fix. Just cycle them all one clockwise. Maybe I should have designed the game myself. Did you know that all the way back to 2014, in version 1.5, there was a glitch that would make your ship spin around? It's called the barrel roll ship glitch. Duh. Back in the day, you could trigger it by playing as the ball game mode and then switching to the ship portal. And as you flew around casually with your ship, it would suddenly start spinning out of control. And now I'm dizzy. In update 1.6, Decrescendo was one of the most popular demons in the game, with many players attempting it, ending up with smashed keyboards and phones. This level was notorious for being nearly impossible to clear at the time due to the skill cap of players. But then, a player named Encore479 discovered a glitch that let you complete it every single time. During the level, you could fall into a specific part of the map and do absolutely nothing until the end. However, this led to loads of players flexing victories that they didn't actually earn. But moving a little bit forward, when the 1.8 update came around, a crazy new glitch appeared with it. If you took a slope in the level editor, stretched it upwards, and played the level, you could actually teleport right over the obstacle without even touching controls. Imagine that showing up when you're at 99% of the level. I would be terrified. You might think the world record for the first level ever would go to The First Level by Real Storm. But did you know that according to the game files, the level we saw in the trailer for the game Ultimate Destruction was actually supposed to be the real first level? As we all know, it never made it into Geometry Dash, giving the world record for the first playable level to Real Storm, as all of their levels before it were deleted. But I bet you didn't know that there is a level in Geometry Dash that is basically infinite, and it's called Unknown Processing. It holds the record for the longest level ever made, and it will literally take you an eternity to finish it. How is it verified? Well, no one really knows. But if you've got a trash PC, you won't even be able to love the level anyways. But this level is probably the best way to boost your playtime in Geometry Dash. And speaking of playtime, did you know that the highest playtime record is actually held by Mindbur, one of Geometry Dash's developers? While the average player has around 71 hours, Mindbur has over 74,000 hours. That's over 1,000 times the average player. And to put that into context, that's equivalent to 8 years of non-stop playtime. Whether he's constantly developing and playing or just leaving the game idle, it's still insane. That's literally older than some actual players out there. Geometry Dash is already really tough, but imagine playing it blind. Deadlocked, the hardest main level, is hard enough with visibility. And now imagine taking away every visual cue. YouTuber Kermal did exactly that, verifying invisible Deadlocked in just 2,800 attempts. The odds? Beating this literally requires you to memorize an entire level. Yeah, no thanks. Everyone has beaten a level in practice mode without dying at some point, but imagine doing this on one of the hardest levels ever. Well, a popular YouTuber managed to beat the infamous Yatagarasu level in practice mode without using any checkpoints. Completely by accident too. Practice mode is meant to help you conquer some of the toughest sections, and it's only meant for literally practice. But completing this nightmare level without any checkpoints, that is a 1 in a million moment in Geometry Dash history.
Practice mode!
Especially because it didn't count as an actual completion, making Dorami extremely mad. But hold on, we're not finished yet. At the top of this crazy list is a YouTuber named Aurelia whose mouse literally caught on fire while playing the level Sonic Wave. No, I mean it actually caught fire. One day, they thought that it would be a genius move to set their mouse on fire while grinding through the level Sonic Wave. Seriously, you can literally see the flames creeping up on his mouse, slowly getting bigger. If there had been anything flammable in that room, this could have turned into a real nightmare. I mean, why did they think it was a good idea to do this? Everyone knows about the unreleased level Ultimate Destruction, but did you know that at one point, way before the game's release, the menu screen for the level looked entirely different? And if you look carefully, you can also see that Robtop spelled Ultimate wrong. Maybe it's time he goes back to kindergarten. If you played Geometry Dash 2.1, you probably remember the useless Hall of Fame tab. This was essentially a section with random community maps that you would play for basically no reward at all. Well, in version 2.2, it got removed. However, the Hall of Fame did get a replacement. However, the save was never actually added to the game, and it instead was replaced with lists, which is basically a better version of map packs. But playing them doesn't give you any bonus rewards. But did you know that hidden deep within the game files, there is a mysterious main level that was never added? Active was supposed to be the new main level for Geometry Dash 1.4, but it got cancelled for no reason. However, some data miners were able to find pulse data for jump rings and decoration of this level. Based on that data, YouTube channel Colton was able to recreate what the level was supposed to look like. Back in 2023, Geometry Dash was removed from the Google Play Store because it hadn't been updated for over 6 years, meaning it had a much higher risk of getting hacked. Robtop himself said that Google set him a deadline to update the game, which he ignored, causing the game to be removed. However, this wasn't only the case for the Play Store, but for the App Store as well. But with the majority of the player base being Android users, this definitely made them mad, and the only hope for them was to wait until Geometry Dash 2.2 releases, which did release in late 2023. But it was definitely worth the wait because now I can spam fire in the hole. I hate when people correct my grammar, but come on, Robtop, seriously? For the longest time in the gauntlets, the Spike Gauntlet was the only gauntlet with a lowercase first letter, which looked super annoying. But luckily, surprisingly, Robtop actually fixed this, and maybe Robtop did graduate from kindergarten after all. Did you know that there's a secret cube texture glitch in Geometry Dash? And when they played with the position files, they found out that if you place the cube in a very specific spot, it starts glitching and spawns this weird red textured cube. After that, map creators used this bug in their map, and this glitch can now be seen on popular levels such as Free Jumps and Level Machine Bro. It would have been so cool if we got this as an actual icon skin. Fast forward to the latest update, Geometry Dash 2.2, and with it, we also got the upgraded clickbait glitch. In most cases, players would copy the old Going Underground map, and others thought, oh, it's just the same old glitch. But if you actually entered that custom map, you'd see it was completely different. However, how they pulled this off still remains a mystery, but no worries though, it'll probably get fixed in like 100 years. Did you know that there is a world record for the best Geometry Dash player ever? There's even a dedicated website called the Demon List that ranks the world's best players based on their performances, complete with evidence of their plays. And according to the list, a player named Zoink is currently at the top. It's well deserved. I mean, just watch his playthrough of Tidal Wave and you'll see how skilled he really is. However, not everybody in the community necessarily agrees. They believe the best players should also create levels and farm points like stars and moons. Now, Zoink might be a master at playing, but does that alone make him the best? Let me know who you think deserves that title in the comment section. Now, Robtop himself has actually set another world record, and this time it's for the most viewed Geometry Dash video ever. The Geometry Dash trailer, uploaded by Robtop Games, currently has 176 million views, and is also the most liked Geometry Dash video with 340,000 likes. No, I'm not exaggerating. Everyone knows VSC is no joke, full of frame-perfect timings, dark vision, and super fast clicks that are physically impossible for many people. But a player named Yserian actually managed to fluke it from only 48%. And when I say fluke, I mean they completed it in one unexpected perfect attempt after failing over 154,000 times in a row. It's a miracle that they made it. Most players would be considering a new pair of glasses after that many attempts. Did you know that Geometry Dash has so many levels that level creators actually battle to get specific level IDs? The craziest fact about this is the race for the ID 80 million. One lucky player managed to snipe the exact 80 millionth level ID purely by chance, in just a 15-second window, with about 100 levels being uploaded all at the same time. They nailed it perfectly, and the odds of this are approximately 0.01%. Now, the level itself, it's not exactly groundbreaking, but hey, hitting that milestone is still a crazy achievement. But what's even more influential is the ID 100 million. Held by Shadow158, I bet you didn't know that it was originally a spam level that said, "I'll update later." But then eventually, he collabed with some people to make it an actually rate-worthy level. Many players think high FPS is essential to beating really hard demon levels, but this player proved everyone wrong. This Spanish player managed to beat Zero Ikabi, an insanely difficult level, while playing at just 15 frames per second. That's right, 15. Now, as we all know, low FPS makes the game extremely choppy, which is a nightmare for a precision-based game like Geometry Dash, but somehow WSCKR pulled it off, timing every jump with ridiculous accuracy despite the insane lag. Honestly, pulling this off without rage quitting, that's the real miracle here, even if they almost lost their eyes. Speaking of impossible flukes, did you know that a YouTuber named Swyborg beat the Golden in just one attempt? Yeah, that's right. Swyborg managed to clutch a level that was the top 1 extreme demon at the time in a single attempt. He straight up just went up for it. Now, the odds of actually pulling off something like this, less than 0.00001%. Seriously, you'd have better luck winning the lottery and getting struck by lightning at the same time twice. But somehow Swyborg made it happen, leaving the entire Geometry Dash community stunned. But did you know that after that, a player by the name of Sid125 managed to beat the Golden 3 times in a row? Yeah, I'm not even joking. I mean, these players seriously need to go touch some grass. They probably don't even know what the sun is. Did you know that RobTop removed tons of icons throughout the game's history? That's right, there used to be even more. This included a ball with a mouth, some old designs that were changed upon being added to the game, and this Among Us icon, just to name a few. Due to controversy surrounding its creator, however, the Among Us icon was cut from update 2.2, so you'll never get the chance to be sus. Most things are very noticeable when removed. However, this isn't always the case, because when the follow player button was removed from the level editor settings menu, almost nobody noticed. It literally only got 10 upvotes on Reddit. Unfortunately, the reason for this removal was never clarified, but many players think it was most likely due to camera trigger working as a complete replacement for it. But one thing that was very obvious when removed was the background trigger object. This trigger was a super easy way to change the color of the background, and there were also ground triggers to complement it. But in update 2.0, these objects were permanently removed, and instead being replaced with the color trigger. Now, this had a lot of creators, including me, very confused when the update came out, until people managed to figure out that to change the background color, you can just click into the color trigger. Also, fun fact, you can still get the background trigger object by copying older levels with it and adding it as a custom preset object. However, I guarantee nobody knows about this next feature that was removed. Because did you know that back in the day, you could verify levels by beating them in practice mode? That's right, you didn't have to beat it in normal mode to verify and upload your level. The reason this feature was removed was because practice mode has a lot of bugs which could make it possible to verify a level that was impossible to complete in normal mode. The sneak peek for the 2.2 main level Dash uses a spider portal as the swing copter portal. This was later changed to have the unique yellow portal we all use today, along with the visual indicators for colorblind people being added in the update. And speaking of Dash, the first spider portal has a blue gravity portal on top of it, which is completely unnecessary because you're already in the right side of gravity in the normal gameplay. There's a theory that RobTop was originally planning on adding a secret coin here, which would explain why he added it and probably forgot to remove it. Did you know that at one point, RobTop intentionally changed the name of a custom level? This is a super rare occurrence, as Rob is very stubborn with these types of changes. But when popular creator Funny Game uploaded a level misspelling holiday to holy day, RobTop did him a favor and fixed it for him. Design errors are common in every single game, but this next one makes absolutely zero sense. Because if you put the forward and backward arrows side by side in the level editor, you'll see that they're actually misaligned. Now, I don't even know how this is possible, considering all you'd have to do is literally just flip the sprite. Most players know about user coins and how you could collect them through custom maps, but there was a bug that let you exceed the limit. In case you didn't know, there are only supposed to be 3 user coins you can place on each map, but somehow players found a way to add even more than that. The map would only show 3 coins, but after completing the level, you'd be flooded with so many uncollected coins that they would literally spill all over the menu. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually managed to grab all those extra coins. I bet you didn't know about the infinite like glitch. Back in 2016, players would jump into the comments to see what everyone was talking about on a specific level, but then they discovered something quite strange. You could spam the like button infinitely. Yeah, you could literally just keep tapping that like button and watch the count go way up. But here's the sad part. Once you refresh the comments, the likes would drop back to the real number. So even though you thought you were boosting your friend's comment, turns out you were just wasting all your time. But the next world record, however, is about the most stars collected. And that title goes to Smithy777 with a whopping 27,300 stars. No, I'm not even joking. But that's not all. Smithy also holds the record for the most most demon levels completed and the most moons collected. Platformer levels haven't even been around for too long, and he's already managed to grab 7,020 of them. Also, he's very active on his YouTube channel and publishes fun demon levels he completes. But did you know that the current record for the most attempts on a single level is 1,100,000? And while that number sounds insane, it was actually set by a real player, DN Top 1 Bust, on the level Tidal Wave. There are records which exceed 30 million attempts, but those are either hacks or done by bots. I have no idea how he pulled it off, but one thing's for sure, this cannot be healthy. And then there's the most generic speedrun of Geometry Dash, speedrunning all of the main levels from 1 all the way to 22. The current record holder is Lille, who managed to pull off all the level skips and complete everything perfectly, ending up with a completion time of 33 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh, and he even has a dedicated jump button just for Geometry Dash. That's cool, I guess. So to be a pro in Geometry Dash, all you really need is one simple button. The slow speed portal used to have this ugly design back when it was first announced in the preview for update 1.7. It was literally just a speed portal but reversed and orange. But luckily, by the time the second preview of the update was out, RobTop fixed it into a thick backwards arrow that we all know and use today. That old design absolutely sucks. Every play used to be known as the Reddit for Unity games, and it was essentially a portal where players could upload their raw footage from any popular Unity game, including Geometry Dash. However, Unity shut down this feature in 2018, which left players kinda disappointed because at the time, most players had older phones which are known for having issues with screen recording. Rest in peace, every play. In the how to play tutorial in Geometry Dash's settings menu, it shows a weird version of the ship with only one shaded color. This has obviously been removed in the actual game, as we can currently use 2 different colors for the ship, but it's weird how RobTop never updated the how to play screen. I bet one of you still uses only one color though. You monster. Speaking of the how to play section, there is a weird auto practice button which is nowhere to be found in the actual game today. Now, the button does show up in the game files, but there is absolutely no function or implementation of the button in the actual game. And this is because it was replaced by the auto checkpoint button that can be found in the pause menu. Honestly, not having to go into the menu to toggle this would be way better. Please give us the button! On the title for popular demon level Death Moon, you can actually see the check mark is slightly further away from the title text than on other levels. What is the meaning of this? Does it symbolize the infinite gap between you and not sucking? We may never know. Did you know that Geometry Dash existed 2,000 years ago? I'm just kidding, but back in the day, there was a glitch where your comment could show up as being posted over 2017 years ago. Now that's a real OG player. So apparently there was a caveman somewhere out there sitting by the fire on his comfiest stone grinding Geometry Dash. Now that's pretty awesome. With the introduction of version 2.2, we got brand new platformer levels and a platformer story mode called the Tower. Because platformers offer free movement, players can complete the tower at their own pace, either fast or slow. And guess what? The record holder for the fastest completion is Signkos, who even made a video when he set the record by completing it in 6 minutes and 42 seconds. And the craziest part, the previous record he broke was his own world record. Hey, I mean, if you're up for a challenge, I'd recommend trying to speedrun the shower. However, that's not as crazy as the next world record, because this one was set on an airplane. A player named Paz TV actually completed Stereo Madness while flying an airplane, which is honestly extremely impressive. He was essentially controlling 2 ships in the air at the same time. I'm just glad he wasn't playing clubstep, or that plane would have been completely cooked. We have already heard about playing Stereo Madness high up in the sky, but this player took things in the opposite direction. Xenochrome actually went 18 meters underwater with scuba gear just to play Stereo Madness. Does this mean he's the first person to play Geometry Dash underwater? RobTop, we need answers. The next impossible to beat record is also for platformers, but it's for the very first generic platformer ever. Enjoying the Sun by Autonic is exactly what it sounds like. You're dropped into a jungle environment and you make your way into a spooky temple. And for the first platformer, it's surprisingly creative and well made. And honestly, it's the best way for a Geometry Dash player to finally touch some grass. Did you know that monsters used to be crazy with their mouths? Pause. In this teaser screenshot, you can see that the monster had a tongue. Now, not many people noticed this at first, but it was never added to the final game. Like, imagine dying because a monster licked your ball. Crazy, right? Geometry Dash used to have the worst parental controls in history, because if you go into the parental control option, you have the option to allow only featured maps for online levels. However, when the feature first came out, it didn't remove the search option like it was supposed to, but instead all it did was disable map packs. I can imagine this led to some interesting conversation. Before version 1.0 of Geometry Dash, portals used to look entirely different. These old designs were pretty much taken from popular Valve franchise Portal. However, these were just concept designs, and in the final game, they were added with an original design. We don't know if old portals were just meant to teleport you further into the map, but now they make you switch game modes. You've probably seen this saw decoration while playing Geometry Dash, but did you know it actually has an old unused design? The predecessor of this saw was actually hexagon shaped and had 3 size variants: big, medium, and small. It was only shown in the concept preview, and after that, it was just cancelled. And RobTop later decided to get it reworked into the normal saw. Everyone hates the Lenny face, but if you don't for some reason, you're about to. Because for some reason, this icon has 1 extra pixel on its side. Luckily, this is almost completely invisible unless you zoom in super close. I wonder if this gives a height boost. Maybe I can finally make a triple jump. You've probably played the popular level Unity by Triaxis and Funny Game. It was an extremely revolutionary level for 2.0 with tons of memorable parts. But did you know that at the beginning of the level, there's an Easter egg? Now, if you die at this specific spot due to the troll, the name will change from Triaxis to Fryaxis. And now I'm hungry. In the 5th level of Geometry Dash Base After Base, there is a missing spike early on in the level, and you'd think this would get fixed almost instantly considering it's in a main level, but RobTop is extremely stubborn about fixing these small details. Even though literally everybody complains about it, I guess we just have to deal with this one forever. But that's not the only missing spike error in RobTop's main levels. In Electrodynamics, at the very beginning of the level, you can see a missing spike right here. This one pissed off the entire community, and especially because, like I said earlier, RobTop is super stubborn about fixing his mistakes. Have you ever been clickbaited in Geometry Dash? If you played version 2.1 back in 2017 and before, you would most likely know what I'm talking about. When you checked out custom player levels, some of them showed a ton of likes and plays, making them seem super popular. But if you refresh the page, the like count would drop dramatically, revealing the real numbers. Thanks RobTop for getting us clickbaited in Geometry Dash. If there was an award for the most annoying glitch ever, then it would definitely go to the search glitch. In the 2.1 version of Geometry Dash, you might have run into a search bug where even if you selected your desired difficulty like Demon for example, you'd only get baby level maps instead. Luckily, the bug fixed itself if you left and re-entered the search, but still. Maybe that was actually Demon baby mode. But that's not as crazy as the secretly non-applicable or NA difficulty. Back in the day, there was a bug in the daily challenges where the challenge map's difficulty would appear as NA. And this meant you couldn't actually play the game at all since the level was totally unavailable. This glitch happened if the creator's device didn't sync properly with the servers, leaving it completely unplayable. And now I'm actually curious, what did that level even look like? Now, many players are used to seeing some of the longest levels in Geometry Dash, but this level is actually the shortest one. The world record for the shortest level goes to Shortest Level by Zombie Smurf 83, and it's so short that it's rated as NA, and the moment you press play, you're already done. Quirke is the only player who's beaten the level time machine with his foot. Yup, while most players just use their hands like normal people, Quirke decided I could do it with my foot, and after a few attempts, he actually pulled it off, getting the world record title into his hands, or should I say rather, his feet. Did you know that you can actually kill players in Geometry Dash? Well, not really players, but if you hover your mouse over the little cube icons on the main screen, you can pop them, and they count as player kills on your stats menu. One player, Technical Low YT, holds the record for the most pops ever, over 3.5 million. People, including me, were seriously curious about how he actually pulled this off, but he said it's just a habit he has while hanging out in the Geometry Dash main menu. Yeah, honestly, I don't think anyone's even trying to break that world record anytime soon. Many players know one simple rule: if it has a screen, it can play Doom. And one player, Nemo2510, took that rule seriously by creating the first ever playable version of Doom inside of Geometry Dash. And no, it's not a joke, it's fully functional. You can shoot, take down enemies, and even complete the level if you manage to find the exit. The fact that someone pulled this off using the Geometry Dash programming language means that one day we may be able to use it for just about everything. Everybody knows that fluking a level from 0% is almost impossible. Well, Scaro, a 15-year-old controller player, did just that with Erebus by Platnu. And just to put that into perspective, the probability of this happening is about 0.0001%, which is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, if the haystack were on fire. Scaro didn't just complete the level, I mean, they completely obliterated it.
Hey, I don't think you can have an opinion on this after he beats the real Erebus. Okay.
What the fuck? Did you just fluke that from like before 30?
Can you imagine being that calm at 15? Because I was definitely not. If you're one of those people dreaming of getting RobTop to comment on your level, you might want to check your odds because it's like winning the lottery. I mean, the guy has only dropped around 3,250 comments across tens of millions of levels, giving this a 0.003% chance of happening. I mean, players are out here pouring their heart into these creations, hoping for that rare stamp of approval. But hey, when you finally get it, you might as well frame that comment. It's basically the ultimate badge of honor. Did you know that Sonic Wave Unlimited, one of the most iconic demons in the game, has many different Easter eggs? Each Easter egg only has a 1% chance of happening due to a random trigger, but this player actually managed to get one of them, and it's extremely funny.
Really?
What? Yes, this is real. Everyone knows about Scratch, the merchant in Geometry Dash's icon shop. He makes a lot of different faces, but if we dig into the game files, there's a hidden sprite of Scratch where he's angry. We don't know the purpose of this or why it was created in the first place, but later, RobTop decided to just rework it on the community shop merchant Popor, which gets angry when you ask him for a refund policy. I sure don't trust those robots with that look in their eyes. Geometry Dash was supposed to have a BPM button. The function of this button has been speculated to just show the BPM rate of the level song that you're playing. Some people thought it was going to be a feature for changing songs BPM as you're playing, but that's highly unlikely. This button has been apparently found in gameplay footage of Geometry Dash's pre-release version. Eternity! No, I don't mean like an infinite amount of time, but a level that was supposed to be added in version 1.8. Eternity was a song that everyone in the community was betting on being added and huge hype was spread. However, when the song preview for 1.8 came out, players were presented with icons of book, infinity, and the number 2, which meant that we were getting Theory of Everything 2 instead. But that wasn't the only song that was supposed to get added. RobTop scammed players with this song as well. In the song preview of the 2.0 update, we were shown 5 icons: a B+D, plane, a locked skull, the logo of the producer Waterflame, and a question mark. What did these even mean? While the last two could mean that Waterflame was working on a Geometry Dash exclusive song, or that we're getting a song Conclusion. In the end, Deadlocked was made an official level, while Conclusion wasn't even considered, so we basically got scammed. Did you know that this ship looks just like Popeye? Well, that's provided you extend it with your own drawing to round off the head like SmegGD did, but now that I've seen this curse comparison, even if I remove the drawing, it's still there. You probably didn't notice this, but in levels like Serious where there are hyphens around the name, you can't actually search it up. This is because the game was updated to where you can no longer title or upload levels with special characters in them, but this has now made searching up old levels with these characters impossible. How will I ever find my favorite level? Pulse rods have to be one of the most useless sprites in the game. This is literally a toilet plunger. I mean, these rods have 3 different sizes, however only one of them actually touches the ground. The others are just sitting there floating 1 pixel off. Not even the ground wants to touch these toilet plungers. Ew. Did you know that there was once a featured insane level star rated only 2 stars? Nightmare level 1 was a bugged level which was completely auto and it was literally only 2 seconds long. I don't even know how this was possible back in the day, but apparently you can have spaces in usernames because the creator's name was OFCBart14GP. Yeah, it's extremely cursed. RobTop loves utilizing tons of different game modes and styles in his levels, but when Deadlocked first came out in 2.0, nobody realized this peculiar fact about the level. Deadlocked is the only main level to not have a single pink orb in it. I'll never be able to unsee this one now. You can beat any level with this 2.2 glitch. That's right, if you're tired of failing levels and feel like tossing your phone every time you lose, then here's what you need to do. Find a level that's giving you a hard time, hold down the play button, and quickly press the X button. When the menu pops up asking if you want to delete the map, hit yes, and you'll be sent into an empty level that you can clear in under 5 seconds. Boom, now you're a true Geometry Dash pro. However, that's not as crazy as a glitch that would literally ban you from playing the game. When the newest 2.2 version dropped, it came with the crash glitch. Players were super excited to jump in, but as soon as they opened up the game, boom, crash. And for those lucky enough to make it to the main menu, picking any level would just crash the game again. And at that point, it feels like RobTop is just pranking us the whole time. I bet you didn't know that you can actually finish a level twice in a single run. If you move the end trigger all the way to the end in the map maker and then start the level, you'll get launched straight into the finish screen twice. This happens because the activation for the end trigger stays in the same spot while the end itself gets moved. Now that's a double W glitch. This mysterious player Zellink has 2 levels on his account with the exact same name, which shouldn't even be possible. Normally, if you try to upload a level with the same name, it'll automatically update the first level with the same name. But somehow Zellink managed to bypass all of that. I wish I could create duplicate names. Then I could finally achieve my dream of writing balls on 100 different levels. This demon has a peculiar fact that nobody knows about. Death Moon is one of the most popular levels in all of Geometry Dash, known for its creative gameplay and unique decoration for 1.9. But did you know that throughout the entirety of the level, it only uses one orb? Yeah, it's this pink orb at 56%. What a lonely guy. Speaking of orbs, apparently creators back in the day just forgot about this fundamental piece of gameplay, because Forest Temple by Michigan has 0 orbs in the entire level. I can't even tell if this is intended at this point. One of the top 10 hardest demons in the game, Slaughterhouse, has a secret Easter egg within the editor. If you turn on hitboxes at this wave part, you can see a hidden snowman. The creator of the level Iced Cave said his name was Snowy Coast, which is a reference to a Team Fortress 2 map. Just look how cute he is. Lastly, did you know that Geometry Dash has been referenced many times in the popular show South Park? There was an explosion made by 2 bottle rockets which caused tons of ashes to fall into the air. And then Mr. Garrison said this.
Winter's back!
Wow, it's a black blizzard!
Referencing the popular extreme demon Black Blizzard by Kermal. However, when the 2.1 version dropped, teleporting over slopes finally got fixed. But guess what? Yeah, a new bug was discovered. Now you can actually clip through slopes. And if you place 2 slopes in the right position in the level editor and timed your jump perfectly, your icon would just pass through both of them like they didn't even exist. Geometry Dash really seems to have issues with slopes, man. Did you know that you can make the dash orb's fire effect go in the opposite direction? By placing a dash orb next to a dual portal and a ball portal, the fire trail will actually reverse its direction. But this glitch could be fixed with other game mode portals. Essentially, you could have felt like a fire-breathing dragon, except as a cube. Yeah, not that exciting. Have you ever thought that trails were just way too expensive? Well, there was actually a way to get one for free. Temporarily. In the level editor, if you placed a bunch of dual portals, you trigger this glitch where your icon would leave an infinite trail behind you. And now I don't have to go broke on orbs to scratch. In the beginning of the game, the ship only used one color instead of the 2 different shade options that we now use today. You can even see it in the game's Steam banner. Thank God RobTop changed this, because imagine grinding for a cool new ship and you can only use one color. Additionally, it was originally intended to just be called the Rocket, but everyone called it a ship, so RobTop decided to roll with it. This secret bug literally bans you from Geometry Dash. The demon crash bug used to be a known bug among the community, where if you had 500 stars or completed 5 demon levels, your game would just crash every time you tried to play it. Some players also began spreading rumors that your entire PC would explode. Maybe this was actually RobTop just trying to get his players to touch grass. In Geometry Dash 2.1, there are 21 main levels to choose from, but when checking the game files, there are actually 37 different slots containing main level songs. These songs are hidden from players in the editor, but using a mod, you can actually see which songs they are. They're all from the game spin-off series Geometry Dash Sub-Zero, Meltdown, and World. And there is a theory that those separate games were supposed to be a part of the main game, but RobTop later stated that creating separate games for spin-off series did make him a fair amount of money. Seems like he made the right choice. Did you know that the difficulty icons looked way different before the game's release? In the pre-release era of Geometry Dash, there used to be only 5 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, harder, and insane. These 5 difficulties were the only ones to have their old, more chill design, but after release, they were scrapped and replaced by today's famous emoji design. To be honest, I'm glad the old designs got removed, because I can literally draw them in Microsoft Paint in like 5 minutes. Everyone knows that catching a perfect fluke is rare, but did you know that the same goes for loading screen messages? With 61 different loading screen messages in Geometry Dash, the odds of getting the same one twice in a row are only 1.6%. That's right, catching this rare moment is almost as surprising as a perfect fluke in one of the hardest levels. So next time, maybe skip being distracted while your game loads, because you never know when you might witness that rare double loading screen moment. This Geometry Dash level operates on pure RNG, and each attempt is a high-stakes gamble. Players never know what to expect with every tap and jump. It's designed to test patience, endurance, and maybe a little bit of insanity. Some players will keep grinding just hoping that the stars align in their favor. And for everyone else, well, let's just say that rage quitting might be an understatement. Many players think they've played tough levels, but nothing compares to the final part of Maze of Justice. This is so hard that players tried using hacks to beat the level, and the rare thing is that even players using bots could not beat it. And in case you don't know what botting is, it's basically playing a level in practice mode very slow, and then it'll play for you in normal speed in normal mode. And if you thought you had it rough with other extreme demons, Maze of Justice will make you rethink your entire life. Imagine opening Geometry Dash and it just decides to delete itself, except for 2 levels. Someone posted a video on YouTube titled "Weird Geometry Dash Bug," which revealed something really odd. After finishing a level level and reopening the game, he found the home screen completely gone. All the textures were just completely disappeared. The only levels left were back on track and base after base. It's wild that this bizarre glitch has only happened to him. Seriously, how does that even work? If you play Geometry Dash every day, you've probably opened the daily and weekly chests. But did you know that there is an obscure bug which makes the daily chest literally say 11 days left until you can open it again? And the weekly chest would say 12 days. Like how? I guess we will never know if this bug was patched in 2.2 since it's so rare. And RobTop really needs to go back to school. Imagine playing Geometry Dash but at a school talent show. That's exactly what Mandamar did, taking on Bloodbath by Riot. He even set a world record as the first person to complete an extreme demon level at a school event. That kind of dedication and practice is no joke, especially with all your classmates watching and the adrenaline pumping. If I tried that and messed up, then my negative aura levels would be generationally infinite. Eon by Ren 241 is the longest finishable level in Geometry Dash, clocking in at a whopping 55 minutes straight. I'm not sure what song plays during that entire time, but building a level like that must have taken ages. This level is rated as an extreme demon, so prepare yourself to do your best for 55 whole minutes. Just imagine getting all the way to 99% and then dying. Yeah, my whole setup would have ended up in the trash can. This might just be one of the most unifying world records ever. Jazer once posted a comment asking players to make it the most disliked comment in all of Geometry Dash. And guess what? Yeah, it actually worked. Everyone came together to dislike it, and it now holds the record with over 150,000 dislikes. I bet you didn't realize this, but the main menu screen for Geometry Dash has a lot more Easter eggs than it looks like. And one thing you may have noticed was that every time you go back to it after playing a level, it looks pretty different. But this is actually because the background of the main menu will be the exact same as the last level you played. Yeah, crazy, right? If you go on a player's profile and view their levels, you might notice that there's no apostrophe after their name. This has literally been a problem since the game was very first released, and considering how many years it's been since this issue was first mentioned, it seems like it's never going to be fixed. Apparently, RobTop failed grammar class because the main level Can't Let Go is missing an apostrophe as well. Yeah, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, is he just doing this just to piss all of us off? It's literally one character. Like, why can't you add it? Did you know that there used to be a glitch that could make you go underground in Geometry Dash? In the previous update, you could use 1x1 blocks in the level editor to create a staircase that sent you below the map. When you touch these blocks, they'd cancel out any collisions, and you literally end up in the ground underneath the whole entire map. Maybe this is how Meltdown got created. I bet you didn't know that there was a glitch in Geometry Dash that could completely delete all of your textures. If you got an ad while playing, there was a chance it would send you to a random website, and when you came back, the textures would just vanish. But here's where it gets even crazier. After playing through 20% of the level, a random broken screen texture would pop up. It still remains a mystery as to why this happened, but that texture probably resembles how my phone would look if I died in a level. Many players remember the frustration of beating the hardest level in 2.1 only for their progress to be completely wiped out. Back then, this bug was the worst nightmare for anyone trying to save their game. I mean, imagine completing a level only to see 0 out of 0 storage space on your account, meaning your game wasn't saved at all. It was so bad, it made people quit the game forever. RobTop should have probably bought more USBs for his cloud storage. In the main level Theory of Everything 2, there is a background decoration block that is misplaced by a couple of pixels. The worst part is it's not even misplaced by like a normal pixel. It's literally like a pixel and a half. Speaking of Theory of Everything, in the first version, there's also an alignment error with the ground spikes at the part before the drop. Obviously, this has zero effect on how you play this level, but RobTop really needs to fix his eyesight because this is getting pretty bad. You've probably noticed that the started difficulty ratio in custom levels caps out at 10, and you can only get a maximum of 10 stars for completing a demon level. But in the main levels, they cap out at 15 for Deadlocked. This was because RobTop originally intended to have the main levels give you the same amount of stars depending on which level it was on the order, and not based around the difficulty. But with Theory of Everything being 12 stars and Electroman Adventures being back to 10, it just gets completely messed up after that, so why even bother? Back in update 2.1, if you were struggling with a certain level, there was a sneaky trick you could use. Screen extension. This was only available for PC players, but by stretching your screen, you could literally fly over the limits of the level. Of course, this led to a ton of issues and was quickly fixed. But someone lied to me because when I stretched the screen, there's Hidden Among Us. Everyone knows playing at 0x speed is impossible in Geometry Dash, right? Well, one player found a way to make it happen. There was a 0x speed map that let players move at literally no speed at all. Because when you hit 100%, you actually couldn't reach the finish line because the map was basically infinite. You'd technically be stuck at 99.99999% completion, but the game would round it up to 100%. Even your icon would start glitching and doing all kinds of weird things. This should be a punishment for hackers. Some level creators love to keep things simple, using only very few objects in their designs. But Sputnik's took it a whole new level. His level XXIX uses just 29 objects, breaking the world record for the lowest object count in a feature Geometry Dash level in the history of the game. This trend was actually started by players like Pock, with previous levels having around 49 and 39 objects. But Sputnik's managed to drop that number by 10. And it's not just minimalistic, it's actually very impressive too, with a custom background that actually stands out. Another unbeatable world record is the first ever auto platformer called MS-22 by Flash. Not only is it the very first of its kind, but it also doubles as an MS-22 synthesizer, so you can actually play around with it. Pretty cool. And it's technically an auto platformer since you can complete it without even playing. Looks like I'll be making some music bangers, but in Geometry Dash. Okay, never mind. That kind of sucks. You won't believe just how close players get to dying in Geometry Dash. From this player nearly glitching into the ground to another barely escaping a spike by 1 frame, these near misses happen almost daily and are downright nightmares for Geometry Dash players. There's even a dedicated Twitter page where players share their best close calls. From near misses with spikes to heart-stopping saves, this community celebrates the craziest, most impossible moments, keeping you at the edge of your seat. And honestly, at this rate, we should just start handing out bravery medals, because if these players keep pushing their luck, they'll need them for therapy sessions. On Geometry Dash's most popular mod, Mega Hack, there's a setting called Jump Scare, which when enabled gives you a jump scare upon death. Now, a player named Vegetal set this jump scare to a 1 in 2 million chance, and he actually got it. This guy should have bought lottery tickets on the same day, because that's pretty darn lucky. The chances of this happening are literally 0.000005%, which is rarer than the chances of me getting a girlfriend. Yeah. Speaking of mysteries, another strange one involves texture packs. A Discord user posted a screenshot showing the game's default font swapped out for something bizarre. The user, named Yilong Ma, had downloaded several texture packs, and some files accidentally mixed with the in-game font, leading to this bizarre glitch. It's technically not a bug, but it sure does look very strange. What would you have done in this situation? This YouTuber named Brayden Bull decided that Sunset Sandstorm, already an extremely hard demon in Geometry Dash, just wasn't hard enough. So what exactly did he do? He made it completely invisible. Yeah. Imagine tackling one of the hardest levels while every single obstacle is hidden. Players are forced to rely entirely on muscle memory and split-second timing to avoid disaster. It's like playing a game of Minesweeper, but with your eyes closed and a blindfold on. Did you know that some insane troll levels can actually be harder than top demons? One lucky guy managed to beat a really hard troll level named Lucky Draw, with a 1 in 7.5 million chance per attempt. It's no wonder so few have done it. This user, however, managed to pull off this insane feat after just 9,931 tries. And the odds of that, a whopping 0.13%. Now, that's what I call an achievement that truly lives up to the name Lucky.